So hey guys, what we're going to do today is a bit of 12 volt electric for you, and I'm going to show you how to do that. How I do that.
Yes,
that's better.
how we did it. So when we first moved on the boat, we didn't have any working lights. We had side lights, but they were broken and smashed. But we did replace them quite quickly with the ones that you see now. So these side lights are great. They were a bit pricey and they were from the channelers, but they're useful in that you can move the light around. The only problem with these is that they don't actually provide a huge amount of light. Two of these side lights providing light for the whole of the bedroom and the kitchen too. They work off a 12 volt system. So for those of you who don't know, a 12 volt system is basically a system that most boats run off or they have on board. It powers things like your USB ports.
Yeah, it also does stuff like your fridge, your pumps, the toilet, just running water.
The water pumps, as you mentioned, yes.
Oh, and the radio.
And the radio, if you've got a radio. We've got one. It's more of an annoyance, if anything, because the radio turns on its own accord and that wastes battery. So like most boats, we've got a 12 volt system for those things, but I work from home, we make vlogs, we've got equipment that requires more than a 12 volt connection. So what do you do on a boat when you need to plug in a 3-pin plug? So the way we power bigger equipment, so anything from our bigger cameras that don't run off USB, laptop, kitchen equipment, so things like a blender, a microwave, pretty much anything you can think of that doesn't have a USB and has a 3-pin plug.
Just so you know, we don't have a microwave or a blender.
No, we don't have a lot of those things. You may see creeping behind Dan, we do actually have a new TV, so that's not 12 volt. You can get some that are, but we got a cheaper one that was actually 240 volt, which we can run using the Victron.
The thing is, people want these 12 volt TVs, but we don't actually need one because we don't watch a lot of TV at all. Probably like if there's maybe some Chernobyl, I think was the last thing I watched. You know what I mean?
I like documentaries. Yeah. Skylar uses it for her learning the school programs on the TV. But yeah, anything like your TV or things that require a 3-pin plug, we have to turn the Victron on for.
So this is our Victron, and this is basically how we can run any of the laptops or anything like that. So basically, just turn that on. That will come on now. There you go, inverter on, meaning I can now use 240 and proper plug sockets like that one up there, but of course we've got nothing plugged in. Otherwise, literally turn it off. If I go into charge only and I put the generator in, that's how I charge my batteries.
The reason I have to do that is because we do not have a split charge, so my engine doesn't actually charge up my domestics, and that's why we had the problem with the generator over the new year.
Another thing that unfortunately doesn't run off 12 volts are the top lights, so the ceiling lights on our boat, and the ones that unfortunately tend to provide the most light. So they haven't been working since we moved aboard, as none of them are actually 12 volt. They are not 240 either, so they don't work when we turn the Victron on. They are in fact...
It's on a 24 volt system now. I think 24 is like 240, but for some reason when turning on the Victron they do not work, and I think that's because the 24 volt system was stripped from it, but I could be wrong and I'm not quite sure. Bam Bam has told me quite a few times, but you know,
I mean, there's no issue with them as far as we know, the wiring or anything. In the past we have had the lights flicker occasionally, but not really do much more than that. So what we need to do now is buy some 12 volt ceiling lights and replace them. We've been able to acquire one 12 volt ceiling light in lockdown. We had originally been looking for the LED version, the ones you can get off Amazon, but we didn't really want a strip light as we had previously. So we were looking for a LED low power 12 volt ceiling light, but not a strip light design. We haven't been able to find any LED lights in lockdown, unfortunately, but we did find a halogen light at the local channelers, so we've purchased that. It was a bit pricier than we'd hoped for, and it uses a lot more power too, so it's not a long-term solution, but for the first time ever we now have a light in the bathroom, which with a child is pretty essential when you need to access the bathroom at night or in the winter when there's really not that much light on the boat.
So this is the light that we have found. And I just want to put it out that if anybody knows where to get these type of lights in LED, can you please drop down in the comments? That'd be a massive help.
We're
I'm trying to find
desperately
them everywhere.
looking for them.
I don't care if it's got like a wooden frame and you have to spend a little bit more on them, but
we don't want halogen.
No.
Obviously for the bathroom we want something that's relatively water resistant,
Yeah.
but we also need to find lights for our bedroom, Skylar's bedroom, and the kitchen too, so we are searching for lights at the moment. If you're looking for lights yourself and you like the one that we've purchased, then we will leave a link in the description to that too, but bear in mind they do use more power, so they're not really the ideal solution on a narrowboat, especially if, like us, you're continuously cruising and you're not hooked up to a shoreline power source.
You'll know when that you've got a halogen because it's the first thing that goes out on the boat when the batteries start to go.
Yeah, the batteries do not like the halogen.
Not at all.
But anyway, so we're going to show you now how we got that installed. It was actually quite quick and simple really. Remember, it is not a how-to, so please don't take this as an instructional video. I suppose it's just perhaps interesting if you live in a house and you've never seen how we on a boat would go about replacing a light on our boat. So let's take a look at that now. Step 1 is for Dan to pull the electrical connector box from the old light out of the ceiling. After unscrewing it, Dan can put the negative wire from the light into the electrical connector box. After tightening the screw, Dan does a quick pull on the wire just to make sure it's secure. Now it's time to repeat the process, but with the positive wire. A quick test to see if it works, and then it's time to secure the light on the ceiling.
I need you to hold this up now. Let me just double check that. You happy with that like that?
Yeah. Oh, that's...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where's my screwdriver just gone? Ready? Yeah.
So, just a short vlog from us this week, but we really hope you enjoyed.
So, if you enjoyed that, please leave a thumbs up or a comment down below. And if you want to be notified for when any of our new vlogs come out, because we are quite sporadic, please press the notification bell.
And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I also want to say a massive thank you for all of the support and the kind comments on our vlog last week. It really does mean a lot, so thank you all. And if you enjoy watching and you want to see more of our vlogs and support the work we do here, then please do check out the join button or take a look at our Patreon down below.
So, have a lovely weekend, people, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.